Rastafari Revelation.
Thank you.
Welcome back to part 2 of Rastafari Revelation for the 27th of July 2013. This is episode 9 and we're moving on with the program. On the first half we had two guests, two Rastafarian elder guests based in Shashamane, Ethiopia. They were with us via Skype and they were speaking a little bit about some of the celebrations that took place for the 121st anniversary of the Earth Strong of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. We also touched on the works and times of a Rastafarian elder, Marcus Selassie, who celebrated his 90th birthday on the 25th of July. Also, Empress Ijana also told us that there's some representation going on with the Jamaican government in order to strengthen the ties between the Caribbean and Ethiopia in regards to Rastafari's presence on the land grant. And we're going to move on with the program, but Empress Tempe would like to come in and give us some remarks.
Thank you, Ross Albert. And I'm just overjoyed. The spirit is here. I see our two guests, Sister Ajanya Christian, just sent us a shout out on our Rastafari Alliance for Science, Technology and Arts. And I'm going to quote her. She just said, "Thanksgiving to the Most High for the link up. Bless up, Ross Albert." And Sister Empress Tempe Williams. And we want to thank you. The pleasure was ours. You see, you two are just beautiful disciples trotting in Shashamane. And we love you for it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Also, before I turn it back over to Ross Albert, I want to give a shout out also to a sister that shared with me in Dominica last night that on that very day, on the Imperial's Earth Day, she, in fact, was baptized. And I won't call her name, but she knows who she is, and the blessing is to her right now. She also shared, because I asked her, could she tell me a little bit about it? And I'm trying to see. She told me yes. She said it was a life-changing experience for her. And for those of you that's probably like me that didn't know, she told me that this was a decision that had been gnawing at her for some time, and she knew the time was right. When she turned 50, and I'm 58, a proud 58, so she's a proud 50. And I asked her, I said, "Sister, can you explain and share with us?" So I'm going to share with you what a Nyabengi baptism is all about. And she experienced it on 121 Imperial's Earth Day. She said that basically they get 7 different oils, honey and alloys, and they chant Psalms 20 7 times along with a few other psalms. And then they anoint the head, the shoulders, the elbow, and the sole of the feet. We then give the baby a bit of aloes, symbolic of the bitterness in life, and then a bit of honey as a symbol of the balance between the bitterness and the joys to be experienced in life. Thank you so much for your testimony, sister. Thank you, and praises to Jah. Thank you, Most High. Thank you, Jah Rastafari.
Rastafari Revelation. Yeah, Rastafari.
Marijuana, marijuana. Hail Selassie. Reggae music, reggae music. Hail Selassie. Ethiopia, Ethiopia. Hail Selassie. Power of authority. Hail Selassie. Power of the Trinity. Hail Selassie. Elect of God as rightful ruler. Hail Selassie. Conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. Hail Selassie. Natty dreadlocks bongo eye. Hail Selassie. Rastaman vibration. Hail Selassie. Hope of the race, soul of rebellion. Hail Selassie. Prophet of dread contemplation. Hail Selassie. King of kings and Lord of lords. Hail Selassie. On his vesture, on his fire. Hail Selassie. Rastafari, Rastafari. Hail Selassie. Marijuana, marijuana. Hail Selassie. Reggae music, reggae music. Hail Selassie. Ethiopia, Ethiopia. Hail Selassie.
Rastafari Revelation.
Yeah, I give thanks and praises on another Sabbath where I and I, how good and how pleasant it is for I and I to come together in the Lord's name to give him thanks and praises and to reflect on his greatness and to reflect on the Rastafari movement that has spread from 1930s from a little island of Jamaica to the four corners of the earth. I and I give thanks for the truth and for the enlightenment that has come forth from many ones and prophets, most of all His Imperial Majesty, who stood up in the League of Nations and warned them that today it is happening to us, tomorrow it will happen to you. He also said that until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another race inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, everywhere is war. And as you can see in the current affairs of mankind today, it's wars and rumors of wars, wars in the north, wars in the south, wars in the east, and wars in the west. Unless the world bows down to His Imperial Majesty and bow down to the first estate of peace, this world will have no rest. There will be no rest, no peace until every man comes to know the truth that God walked amongst man and His Spirit now dwells amongst I and I. Rastafari.
And a shout out, Ross Albert. A shout out to so many even before us and during this time that has kept the spirit alive. His Imperial Majesty Rastafari is alive. A special shout out to everyone at Fairfield House, the supporters. They know who they are out there that made us feel welcome. But not just that, the supporters that have kept Fairfield House alive. Thank you. But I'd like to read in behalf of our sister who got baptized. I won't read it 7 times, but I'll read Psalms 20 as a tribute. The Lord hear thee in the day of trouble. The name of the God of Jacob defend thee. Send thee help from the sanctuary and strengthen thee out of Zion. remember all thy offerings, and accept thy burnt sacrifice. Selah. Grant thee according to thine own heart, and fulfill all thy counsel. We will rejoice in thy salvation, and in the name of our God we will set up our name. We will set up our banners. The Lord fulfill all thy petitions. Now know I that the Lord saveth his anointed. He will hear him from his holy heaven with the saving strength of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God. They are brought down and fallen, but we are risen and stand upright. Save, Lord. Let the King hear us when we call. Jah Rastafari.
Yeah, Empress, thank you for that reading. And as you know, Rastafari is deeply spiritual,
Yes.
at the same time deeply political,
Yes.
at the same time deeply cultural.
Yes.
You know, Rastafari deals with the whole man,
Yes.
the physical and the spiritual. And baptism of the Spirit took place not only in Dominica, but I imagine everywhere one-to-one celebrations were taking place, because we left Fairfield House with a fair amount of spirit upon us,
Yes.
very excited about the future of Rastafari. And as we move up with just about 60 more minutes left on this part of the program, I want to hail up a few Idrin that we met at Fairfield.
Okay.
As you know that we kind of broke up into two camps. You kind of explored the ladies, the sistren,
Yes.
networked with them. So you have a list of the sistren. I have a list of some of the Idrin.
Okay.
I'd just like to hail up Tony Tafari. We didn't get to meet him, but we did speak to him on the phone prior to our leaving for Fairfield House. He's a member of the Rastafari Global Council, one of the forces behind the Rastafari involvement with Fairfield House up at Bath. I also met Rasila. Rasila is one of the workers there, working along with the charity that deals with the home for the aged and also for the people suffering with various sorts of dementia and other ailments. We also met Chris Lee. Chris Lee is one of the gardeners. He's a young Rastafarian at university, but volunteering his time to the upkeep of the grounds. Also, Ras Habakkuk. He was also on hand, and we met him very early on when we arrived on the premises, just about 11 o'clock, and he was very welcoming to us. Also, I can't forget.
Yes. Let me help.
We also met Kirkland Murray.
Yes.
And we also spoke with Kirkland off air, but he was very excited about meeting an Afro-American, and he said that perhaps there's an opening for Empress Tempe to visit universities and speak about the American civil rights struggles. And Empress Tempe, maybe you'd like to reflect a little bit on some of your experiences in meeting some Idrin and Sistrin at Fairfield House.
Thank you, Ross. Albert. Yes, I would. I'd just like to kind of share and follow on to when you said the first person. Let me tell you, it just was such a blessed visit, because if anyone go on our sites, either one of our profiles and on the Rastafari Alliance for Science, Technology, and the Arts, you'll see videos. And you know, beyond everything, Ross Abbott, I want to thank you for making that 4-hour drive. Who, you know, he had to be back at work, but he made that 4-hour drive. And we got there. I mentioned about the hotel first off, but the celebrations actually started, and we got there a couple hours prior, and we were able to meet and greet and interview. And so all of this was just impromptu. I want to say thank you to Ross Habakkuk, who shared his testimony. Listen at his interview. Listen and feel him. Give him feedback. Thank you so much. Also in the interview, you'll see that carved lion. Well, the person that had the vision was our owner, Lowry. These are supporters of the Fairfield House. And it's her father, Dominique Lowry, who actually carved that lion. And she talks about it. Ross Abbott is doing a documentary that is coming. The intro is there, but he's working on it. But I honor, thank you so much, because it was her vision. She said when she went there, she saw just nothing but just scrubbery and brush and trees. And it took her 6 months to talk her father, who she said that he was the only known carver that she knew, to start this project. And it took him 2 years to do it. And that lion is actually carved in 3D. And it's representative and a tribute to His Imperial Majesty, right next to Empress Menen Garden. I also want to do a shout out and thank Sister Pauline Sabi Wallace, who is over the organization BEMSCA, and she shared her project with some of her special residents. And I want to thank her for opening herself up and allowing us to go in and talk to and look around. I want to say a shout out to Katie English, who Sister Pauline suggested that we interview. She's working on a project, and she wanted to know exactly what was Rastafari and aspects. So take a look and listen at Ross Abbott, who thoroughly explains it, not from reading, but from experience and from the wisdom that God and Jah has put within him. Thank you. And lastly, I met Alberto Grossman, who was there and witnessed everything. It's just so many, and my apologies if I left anyone out, but right now the Spirit is on us. We're just so delighted and we're just so happy that we were able to be there. Before I turn it back over to you, Ross Abbott, a special thank you from me to Chris Lee, because let me tell you, I thought that I would not be able to walk the stairs and go up to the second floor and look around. It just was so much holiness, and the Spirit is still upon me right now. But it was Chris Lee who looked at me and said, "Oh no, it's an elevator." And he took the time to push back what was in front and show me the very elevator that I feel in my spirit that His Imperial Majesty used, and Empress Menen. And let me tell you, for those that didn't know, when you open up that elevator, there is a seat on the back of the wall that you sit down. And let me tell you something. I sit there. It was so comforting. But more importantly, thank you, Jah.
Okay, you mentioned Chris Lee, and Chris Lee also was was the curator. He showed me around the building, and I'd just like to read from an article published in 1992, actually an essay by one named Lutz Haber, and he said that the property was acquired by His Imperial Majesty for the princely sum of £3,500, and that was back in 1936. He said also that after refurbishment, the house had a large double drawing room, and Chris brought me through these various places: a dining room with a pantry, a morning room, a telephone room, and a small office,
yes,
a cloakroom, and a conservatory. And when we have our video produced, you'll be seeing images of those rooms, also the 5 principal bedrooms and the spare room. We did not enter into the attic or go into the basement, but just visiting such a villa was fitting indeed for His Imperial Majesty. He would have had at least 25 residents, which included his Empress and his 6 children, and children also of his daughter. He also had an English governess and her assistants, who were not live-in servants, but they would come and they would tend to the needs of His Imperial Majesty at Fairfield House. His Imperial Majesty, after regaining his throne, returned to Ethiopia, but returned back to the United Kingdom in 1958, during which time he donated Fairfield House to the city of Bath to be used as a home for the aged. And I give thanks that this history could be preserved up to this time in 2013, that I Rastafarians could still have such a point of interest where I could gather I energies and focus on the life and times of Rastafari, Haile Selassie, who is the earth's rightful ruler. But we're closing down on this program. We just have a few more minutes left, and we just want to thank our 2 guests again for being with us in the first part of the program, Empress Jana and Ras Kabinda, 2 Rastafarian elders working alongside with the Ethiopian World Federation in Shashamane, Ethiopia. And we'd like to thank all our listeners who have been listening in. I'm very sure. Yes, I think I forgot Benjamin, one of the brethren, yes, who are also at the Fairfield House. Unfortunately, we couldn't get some of you all to appear live on the program, but as the weeks go on, we hope that you will, like Empress Ijana and Raska Binder, hook up with us via Skype. We welcome your suggestions, your feedback, any comments you might have, any contributions. Let me give a shout out to Ras Irie out there in Hampton, Virginia. We know that you've expressed interest in being our representative out there in Virginia. We hope that you've tuned in today and that you've been enlightened, and we're looking forward to corresponding a lot more with you as time goes on. Empress MP.
Yes, and we just want to say thank you and a shout out to all of our listeners out there. And we just want you to know that Rastafari is alive.
Look out. You know it's true. I've got so much love for you. You know it's true. I've got so much love for you. Oh yeah. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter who they are, no matter what they think, it's true. I've got so much love for you. I've got so much love for you. Yeah.
Rastafari Revelation.
Yeah, I've got so much love for you. I've got so much love for you. No matter what they may say about you, no matter how they may treat you, no matter what they may think about you, I know it's true. Oh yeah, I've got so much love for so much love for you. So let Jah arise, let all his enemies scatter, and let I go free from all captivity. The bongo man a come to splash shame in all of them face. Other than this, it will be treated and dream. I wonder who will abide with the Almighty. Who will abide with the Almighty? Only I and I, the remnants of his people. I and I, the resurrection of his church. I and I, all them and those that na. When Jah arise, to Rastafari we rejoice. When Jah arise, to Rastafari we rejoice. Singing, holy, 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 Lord Jah Almighty, who was and always will be King of creation.
Rastafari Revelation.
I got so much love for you. You know it's true. I got so much love for you, yeah. They know it's true, yeah. I got so much love for you, Lord.
Yeah, you know it's true. I and I got so much love for you. This is Ross Albert Williams. Just wishing you all to have a wonderful weekend in Jah. Do go out there, do good work, spread the word, pass it on. Because if you live for yourself, you live in vain. If you live for others, you live again. Empress Tempe, final words.
Jah Rastafari, just thank you, and always, we cannot leave without just letting our brother, ex-President Nelson Mandela, you're always in our prayers. Thank you for our guests, thank you for our listeners, thank you Ross Albert for having me as a guest again here on this show, and thank you Jah for allowing us to visit holy grounds on 121 Emperor Haile Selassie's Earth Day. Jah Rastafari.
Rastafari Revelation. Every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Spreaker.com, it's time for Rastafari Revelation, a 1-hour talk show produced and presented by members of the Rastafari Alliance for Science, Technology, and the Arts. Coming to you live from the United Kingdom with news, views, reviews, previews, and interviews exploring the Rastafari movement. Rastafari Revelation, produced and presented by members of the Rastafari Alliance for Science, Technology, and the Arts, in collaboration with www.spreaker.com, the World Wide Web's #1 podcasting platform.
Every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Spreaker.com, it's time for Rastafari Revelation, a 1-hour talk show produced and presented by members of the Rastafari Alliance for Science, Technology, and